Welcome to another edition to Post and Destroy. I am your host, Percy Robinson, and we have,
He's so formal.
I know, right?
Coach Cam, Killer Cam, what up, though?
In the place to be, right? In the place to be.
Hey,
So today I want to discuss why your videos look amateur, even though you have a $2,000 camera.
yeah.
Why do you think that is, Cam?
Settings, man.
Settings?
It's all settings. If there's any settings and lighting,
Yes.
settings and lighting. So like in particular, like when Glenn and I started podcasting, um, we have a friend who's a photographer,
Mhm.
and I was like, hey man, I need your help with lighting because I know lighting's like hell of it, right? And so I took like a class from him. Shout out Chris Pollard, a buddy of ours. And man, like you talked about on episode 1, I got some of the little Amazon lights, the little 2-packer for $60. And I mean, people was like, bro, I mean, granted, I also bought a $5,000 camera, but lighting
Right.
plus $5,000
Right.
camera.
But let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. Like, before you went out and bought that camera, did you experiment with your phone before you bought lights?
Experiment with my phone.
Like shooting with your phone?
Um,
Were you mindful when you were shooting with your phone?
I was mindful. Yeah,
Okay.
like I could like see something and be like, oh, it's too bright. But I didn't have like the necessary understanding to adjust what I needed to adjust.
Yeah. And I think that's most people's issue, right? Is they'll be shooting with their phone for a while. They won't mess with the settings. They
Yeah.
won't download apps like the Blackmagic app, which actually trains you and helps you on like different settings, which is your ISO, your aperture.
Yeah,
You
but
know
that
what I
app
mean?
is like newer though,
No,
Is
it's been around for a minute.
like over a year.
Yeah, it's been around
Oh,
for
okay,
over a
never
year.
mind.
Yeah.
I thought it was new.
Before they had Filmic Pro as well. It was
Maybe
just
that's
another
okay.
app as well
Yeah.
that you could have used.
Mm-hmm.
Filmic Pro, like you got to pay for it, but the Blackmagic app is free.
For sure.
But I think a lot of people are intimidated by the settings, and they just want to press record, do
Yeah.
their thing, and then go to the editing seat.
Yeah. Well, I think it also is there's folks like me who are somewhat analytical. So like when you Google, it'll say like, hey, your ISO, not your ISO, your shutter speed should be twice what your frames per second is, right? Like stuff like that. So like when it doesn't seem to be working, it like throws people like me off because then you're like, well, shit, am I doing it wrong? Like, is there another setting I don't know about? And
Right.
it can be frustrating.
It is. It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
You're balancing with the Kelvin of your light.
Yeah.
Whether you want to go, the colder look, you want to go with the warmer look. Like each one of these things like play a part in your shooting.
For sure.
Like if, for instance, if I'm shooting something in the morning, I kind of want to have like a warmer look.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To emulate the sun.
Yeah.
And I want to go to like my camera settings and like check my white balance to make sure all that matches, so it's not too yellow, but it gives the illusion that the sun's coming in from this direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, them color settings, boy.
Yeah.
We granted it ended up being okay, but we shot an entire event on accident with the sunlight setting on the camera.
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
Right. But that's some things that most creators they'll miss,
Yeah.
because we're really not. Let's be honest. We're really not thinking about, Kelvin. We're really not thinking about Kelvin, the auto white balance. We'll put it in auto white balance, and
Yeah.
we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the
That
best.
it looks
right?
straight, yeah. Unless you have a checklist.
Yes, unless you have a checklist or a shot list.
I'm a checklist guy.
There we go. Or a shot list. You know what I mean? Like how. So when people go out and shoot, they're just like, oh well, this looks interesting, or they'll just have their camera just go, and then they'll just have like 30 minutes or 30 minutes to an hour worth of film that they're going through, and it takes them that long to edit through the clips, right? So I like to shoot like in 30 seconds to a minute intervals.
I've been learning more of that lately.
Right.
Like keep it short and sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's knowing what you're going to be shooting.
Yeah.
So like I said in the last episode, I do cooking and juicing videos. So what I do is I'll have my shot list, whether I'm going to be shooting wide, which is going to be my establishing shot, my mid shot, it's going to look like this, and my close-up is going to show the emotion, or it's going to show more detail to, you know, what it is that I'm cooking or what it is that I'm juicing, right? So that helps carry the story along, you know? So quick little story. I don't want to, you know, put anyone on blast because, like, I'm currently in a group.
He does want to put people on blast.
I mean, I do.
Don't trust him.
There was this young lady that was in the group, you know, and she asked me, you know, she put her YouTube video in the group. And typically people do this. They're like, hey, you know, I want you to critique this and tell me what, you know.
Everybody says that.
Yeah. Everybody says that, but do you really mean it? Do you
Until that
really
ass gets ripped.
Yeah. Like, I think when people do that, they want people to be like, man, this is dope. I'm a little bit different, you know. First of all, it was like a 45-minute vlog, which was fucking
It was
insane.
45 minutes?
It was 45 minutes. But as a creative, I watched the whole 45 minutes. I didn't fast forward through it. I just watched it to see how I felt.
Yeah, you're a ride or die.
Right. But I wanted to give my honest opinion.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? I wanted, and I even took notes, which is crazy. But
should have paid you.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. But I'm going to get to that point. We're going to get to that point. So it was a 30-minute vlog, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I felt nothing. Nothing. I felt nothing at all. Like, it was just like the camera was just rolling. Like, here I am at this point right here, and she's explaining as she's going through the thing instead of, like, letting the video tell the story.
Yeah.
You know? So what I did was I wrote this whole fucking paragraph. And I'm like, okay, so if I were you, this is how I would have done the video.
Yeah.
So I would have captured the scenery of where you were at, because you're on vacation. You want to make sure you want it to where, like, I want to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I just keep seeing your face and you're like, yeah, now, you know, we're going into the room and we're doing this X, Y, and Z. I want you to do this. I want you to put your camera, your phone on a tripod. Doesn't have to be super expensive. Just, you know, something that's sturdy enough that can hold. And this is how you can tell the story with your phone. Whether you have a phone, whether you have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, you can make your content look dope by doing this thing. Put it on your tripod, right? And then walk through the frame like you're walking to the door. Now, with the close-up shot, this is going to be mini shots, right? It's going to be tedious, but it's going to look good, because when you get to the editing and you put it all together, you'll be like, oh, my God, this is fucking dope.
You know, we'll do in the comments, we'll put a link to a shot list.
Exactly. We'll do that.
A little quick banger of exactly what he's saying.
And then what we want you to do is we want you to apply those on your next, you know, content crusade.
Yep.
You know,
content crusade.
And then send it to us.
Yeah.
So, you know, we could take a look at it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. So then I would move the camera close, like, and then I would level my camera out, make sure everything is like on the doorknob, and then have my hand. So I'm basically have it to where my hand is touching the doorknob and I'm opening it up. Yeah. And I just crack it just a little bit, right?
Make sure your nails are cut.
Yeah.
And clean.
You know, no dirt and anything in your nails. Make sure, like, everything's good.
I be thinking about that when I'm doing stuff. I'm like, oh, my hands.
Bro, especially cooking videos. Yeah. Like, people will come for you. They be like, I ain't eating that shit. They like, man, you got me up. But so, and then, like, once you open the door, stop recording. It's only going to take you about 10 seconds to do that clip, right? Yeah. Then go inside, put the camera like you're going to be walking in. So put it like facing the door. Close the door back up. already press record, open the door, right? And then it catches you walking into the door and then walk past it as you're going like to put your stuff down. Stop the camera. Put your camera cat a corner, to where you're going to be putting your stuff down. You can do a tight shot. You can do I would do a mid shot on this. So it kind of shows a little bit of you, but it actually shows like the action of what you're doing. Put your stuff down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like I would even be extra and I would put like, you know what I mean? Like I would perform
Okay,
like,
you
oh,
put
me
glitter
like
on and shit.
no. Put glitter on. Fuck, I look like.
You said extra.
No. Well, what I mean by extra is like putting the camera like kind of by the bed and then having you like go like this and lay down.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
that'd be
we're
cool.
finally here.
Yeah, we're finally here.
You know what I mean? So like that's what I mean by getting creative with the shot, with the piece. And those few sequences that I mentioned could make your content look great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other than being like, oh my God, so yeah, we made it to the shop. And then here I am in my room, look. And then they do the pan on 24 frames per second and it's jittery. It's like, it goes like, it's jittery. Sorry. ChatGPT.
Oh.
and it was all jittery, you know what I mean? Instead of saying stopping and be like, okay, if I'm going to do a pan left, pan right, let me put this in 60 frames per second so I can later on slow the footage down, right? So people always say, man, like if I had like a brand new Sony camera or a camera like yours, my footage would look dope. Wrong.
Yeah.
Because you didn't master your phone yet.
Yeah.
They don't even know what 24 frames per second is. They don't know like 60 frames, like what the
like
science
the fundamentals.
behind the fundamentals. There
fundamentals.
We go. Like, I mean, should I nerd out and just say what?
I mean, people who are watching this are probably nerding out a little bit.
Okay.
Realistically, some people might not know the premise.
Okay. So I'll start off with frames per second and why, right? So frames per second, let's say 24 frames per second. So naturally our cameras are taking pictures even if it's in videos.
Correct.
Right?
Well, that's what a video is. Just
it's
culmination
just
of
a culmination of
pictures.
A bunch of pictures.
If you didn't know that, now you know.
Yeah.
Like there's no difference. It's just the camera's taking a whole bunch of pictures and putting them together for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a flip book.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You like do like, I don't know back in the days if you doodled like in school or anything like that, but we did stick figures and we're just go like this. You know what I mean? When we flip the page and it goes da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just like that, right? So when you're shooting in 24 frames, it's 24 pictures that it's taking per second, right? So obviously you can't, and that's like the industry, that's like what the industry uses is 24 frames per second because it has that motion blur and everything.
Well, it's because it's the closest to what our eyes actually see.
So
also the most natural motion.
Well, I was gonna say that also, but I was also gonna say because like when you go like this in front of your eyes, it's blurry.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's goes back to what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're right, Killer Cam.
I know.
Boom, boom. So obviously you can't go back and drop it down to 40% to slow it down.
Yeah.
Because it'd be jittery. Because you don't have enough frames to play with. Now, if we're shooting in 60 frames per second or we're shooting at 120, that's where we can slow it down and it makes it look nice, smooth, and buttery because we have a lot more frames that we can pull out and make the footage look nice and smooth.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say be mindful for like when you're shooting and having a shot list, like and knowing like before you even press record, like how you want this video to go.
And you can't shoot in like the natural like, oh, I'll just shoot everything in 60 or 120. Understand like that will double the amount of space that video now takes more than likely because now you have to do all so. Also, don't shoot everything in 60 or 120.
Yeah, don't go crazy with it.
Yeah.
Just be like for me, if you're doing cooking or juicing, I like to slow it down when I'm doing that pour. So like people can be like, oh man, that's sexy. You know what I mean?
You want to get to his most recent video.
Man,
check out the pour, dog.
Exactly. The pour is insane. But I say that to say this. You don't know how many people have came up to me and be like, dude, like when I watch your juicing videos, like I super want to try that.
Yeah.
It looks hella good.
I mean, it does look hella good.
You know? And don't get it twisted. For me, juicing videos are boring. There's only a few things you can do, right?
Mm.
You know, it's not the most sexiest thing in the world, but you can make it sexy. You can make it sexy. You can make it sexy.
Yeah, you can make anything interesting if you sit down and kind of think about it.
Exactly. Like, it's pulling at the heartstrings of your viewers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pulling that emotion out of them. Be like, man, I really want to get this. Hence why I sold over $20,000 worth of juicers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because my videos had a storyline behind it.
For sure.
How it made me feel in the moment. I was doing foreground shots. Okay. Foreground shots.
Break it down.
For those that don't know what foreground shots are, is you have an object sitting here, and then your subject is right here. The object right here is going to be blurred a little bit, so you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it, but you can't see it. But the main focus is right here. It kind of gives that illusion like someone's watching.
Yeah.
You know, no one's filming it, but someone's watching. Mm-hmm. You know, so you shoot through it. I like to shoot through leaves, like plants that are in the way. Like recent videos, I'll shoot like through like the juicer. So like you'll see a little bit of the juicer, but you'll see me cutting. You know what I mean? So it kind of gives that shot, it gives it a more interesting look.
I mean, you do have like really good foreground shots.
Oh, thank you.
I'll give you that.
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But it took time.
For sure.
It takes time to, and I think that's what we're running into when it comes to newer creators. Like they want that hot stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, right? I'm like that.
Yeah,
I'm okay saying that.
Yeah,
like I like. The studio stuff, honestly, like, it's funny because I feel like, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like the studio stuff is easy and then what you do is harder. But I feel like in your instance, you're like, the studio stuff's harder than what I do. And so right. It's like, but it's also because of lack of familiarity.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the difference. You are open to learn. I'm open to learn.
Correct. There are a lot of people who like, man.
They're like, man, I don't. You know how many people that I have like talked to, and they're like, man, I don't even want to shoot it. I don't want to edit it. I don't even want to post it. You know what I mean? I just want the content out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. We can do that, but it's going to come at a cost.
Yeah, right. You just named 3 parts of the process you don't want to do whatsoever.
Right. So you just don't want to be a content creator.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You want content, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's, like we talked about, not everyone is built. Everyone needs content. Not everybody should be doing it themselves.
Right. And I respect those people.
I do too.
I respect those people that are like, look, I have a vision. I want to put it out there.
Yep.
I just don't want to shoot. I don't have time to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to, do any of this stuff. I just need you to do what you do.
Yeah.
And that keeps us in business.
Yeah. Know thyself.
Exactly. Stay in your lane. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yeah, I have a lot of respect than the people that like fake they're like fake wanting to do it. Like, yeah, I'm a content creator, bro. Like, okay. So I know the last one, like, things to get on our nerves,
Percy's pet peeves.
Percy's pet peeves. I think that'll be the segment. Percy's pet peeves.
I agree.
Right. I really hate the car videos. People sitting in their car.
Oh.
That is the most laziest shit.
Like where they're sitting in their car talking?
You're like, yeah, okay, guys, story time.
Oh, shit. I'm going to be honest. One of my most popular videos in the last 6 months was me sitting in this parking lot. I'd flipped on and I was like, you know what? Let me talk about this.
But here's the thing with that, right?
Okay.
You don't always do it.
No, correct. Yeah.
That's not your go-to.
It might be like
bag.
A once in a like, and it was a good thing. I mean, like, I didn't talk about whatever. I was talking to business owners specifically, like,
yeah.
And so it was good information. It was just like in the moment, or else I was gonna forget. It wasn't gonna happen.
Right. No, and like,
but you mean like the people were like,
that's their bag.
60-70% of their videos are like them in the car.
90, let's say 95.
Oh,
of it.
okay.
They're in their car and it's terribly lit.
Yeah.
And like they're just talking in like, I don't want to sit there and hear you talk. Put some overlays on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like put some background music on.
If you guys haven't noticed, Percy is a content snob.
I am. I am not afraid to admit that I'm a content snob.
Know thyself, baby.
You know, like I am not like I am a content snob, and I'm proud of it.
I mean, you should be.
You know what I mean?
You worked
like,
very hard to like, you know.
No, and I put myself around people that
For sure.
work hard at it at the craft.
For sure.
You don't understand like how many people that like I come across and they're just like, and some people are just like, man, I really want to learn this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have no problem teaching it.
For sure.
But you got to apply it.
Correct.
Don't be an ask hole. You know what an ask hole is, right? So
you ask at, but you become a whole of like all the things you don't implement.
Basically, it's asking and asshole like mixed together, right? So you ask the same question over and over again after I've gone through, even gave you a list.
Oh no,
right? And you ask the same question over and over again. I'm like, dude, can we move on from this?
Facts,
right?
I ignore my kids.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm big on that. Like my kids, like when they like if they ask me the same shit, I just be. It is funny because their siblings have caught on. Like he said blah 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 blah, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you heard me? I'm like, oh, I heard you. I refuse to waste my energy to say the same shit over again.
Exactly. It's pointless. I understand, like, everyone learns different and everything like that. But like, you just get these people that.
Well, it's like respect people's time.
That and also, like when I don't see you apply it, I get upset.
Yeah.
I don't even want to deal with you no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I give you a simple task.
Yeah.
I go above and beyond, like write this shit down for you. I even wrote a book about, the creator's playbook, teaching you about the things that I'm telling you right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And it's only $9.99. You know what I'm saying? Like
$10.
$10.
Boom. So that's like the overwhelming point of is like in today's society, people are they're looking for shortcuts to the shortcut.
Right.
Like it's like, hey, like you gave them a shot list, but they're like, oh, how can I shortcut this? Or you have you got the $1,000 camera in your pocket. Mm-hmm. You've already shortcutted like just by having an iPhone. Oh, but how can I shortcut it even more?
It's like this. You don't want to take the time.
Yeah.
You don't want to. I would say this. You don't want to sacrifice the time to learn this.
Invest
the right way and invest.
The time.
Even investing money. You know what I mean? There's courses I took that I invested in as far as editing goes because I wanted to be a great editor. I didn't want to be a good editor. I wanted to be great at it. I didn't want to have to rely on like sending my, raw footage out and have someone do it for me. Like I wanted to learn every aspect of it. I wanted to learn every aspect of shooting. So when I did have a client, you know what I mean? I know what to do if like something happens. If like my lighting goes down and I'm just using the regular lights that are in the event, like I know how to set my camera to make it look that much better.
Yep.
These are the small things as a creator that you have to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you don't have to learn. Maybe it's not your bag, but don't call yourself a creator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't edit on several editing programs, you're not a creator.
Oh.
You're not.
Yep.
Am I wrong? Or
I mean, I agree.
Because in the last episode we touched on it. We're like, when CapCut went down, like so many people were panicking because they didn't know how to edit.
Yeah.
CapCut is like the training wheels.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It has all the training wheels, so you don't have to build anything out. Yeah. You know what I mean? They have all the little sparkly designs, and
you can click a button and do things that like in other applications, are like so it's cool. Yeah. But it's like so from a business aspect, that's what we call a single point of failure.
Right.
When you are so heavily reliant on one thing, you have now created a single point of failure.
No.
It's like the podcasting stuff, right? Is like, we use a platform. However, if I don't have internet, I don't need the platform. I have SD cards. We have V mounts. We got, I am not, people always laugh because I say, like we are so like agile. If I don't have power, that's cool. I got a big ass power block. Mm-hmm. Power block goes down, that's cool. I got V mounts. Hey, guess what? HDMI's don't work for the switcher. That's cool. I got SD cards. Like it's all good.
There was time, speaking of that, like always being ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you ain't got to get ready.
Yeah.
I was at a shoot to where I only had, I thought I brought 2 of my batteries.
Oh.
And I calculated to be like, okay, you know, if I have 2 batteries, like it'll last me, you know,
like
pretty much the
45
whole
minutes
day.
each. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the whole day. And I'm shooting in 4K, and I'm shooting log footage, so that
that shit
eats your battery up. And I should have been mindful to check my bag to make sure I had that second battery. But when I got to the shoot, I only had 1 battery, and then it like went down. But luckily, I had my phone and I knew how to use it. I knew how to use the settings to make it look mirror, not be the same as my camera, but mirror.
Yeah.
You know, so when I get to the edit, I can be like, okay, I can color grade this and make this shit look this way. So those are the things like learning, like going the extra mile and learning the tool.
Yeah.
I'll just call it a tool that's in your hand.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like those are the things that we have to get better at as creators.
Can you shoot log in the Blackmagic app?
You can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It will do like we'll do something.
But
about that.
you're gonna have to like depending on like, because like I said, when you shoot log, it eats.
Oh, I mean,
so it'll
sure.
eat
Better
your battery life. It'll eat your storage.
Yep.
So you might want to.
Well, if you got an iPhone 16, like
you might want to put
the
like
thing now.
yeah, you want to put your
that's
terabyte
like that's
SD.
literally the only reason I would want to upgrade my phone is strictly so I could have the SD card or the hard drive or whatever.
It's so nice to have that because
first world problems.
Yeah, I know. Rich people problems. Just playing.
So wrapping up, that's like the reason why you having that expensive camera don't mean anything is because you don't actually know how to use it.
Yeah, you just don't
use your phone, bro. Like, and I get that with clients too. I have clients like, you know, they're like, hey, I have all this camera equipment. I need you to help me set it up. You know, I had one client, you know, I helped her set up a whole studio. She ain't posted not one video with all of it. She got mics, cameras, everything. I set it all she had to do was turn it on.
That's insane.
You know. Well, it looks fun. You know, even like, you know, I'm in a program for photography and the guy who is the executive director, like, you know, we're getting on a call and he was like, hey, I just got to shout out Cam because he makes this live stream shit look hella easy. It is not. he's like, let me tell you, he's like, and I know everything about these cameras. And he's like, this is not easy. He's like, hats off to that dude, man. You know, and this is someone who has an entire organization that has sponsors and everything, but because, and it knows everything about his camera for photography.
Right.
You know, so like there's levels, right? Like, you know, like just like you were showing me the settings for photography on our cameras, like there's just
it's so many different levels.
Just levels, man.
To get so many different looks.
And it's like, stop assuming that you have to start out at level 10.
No.
It's like okay to be like, I'm learning how to be better at this.
And that growth makes you appreciate what it is that you do.
A lot. Hella appreciate.
Like I knew when I started, I didn't want to give in to me. Like I knew there was going to be an uphill battle for me. Sure. And, you know, my audience, they grew with me. You know, they're just like, they're like, man, dude, you came a long way.
Yeah, man. Like, people like that too. People like to see the level up.
Yeah. I
mean, it's like inspiring for them.
It is inspiring for them, but people like to see the growth of other people.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And like when you get those comments and they're just like, man, like, you know, I remember watching you like when you first started and you came a long way with your videos. That means a lot to me, you know? One other thing that I do want to talk about is like, there's something that's so simple that creators can do and they don't do it.
Okay. Before
you press record, hear me out. Clean your lens. Clean your lens.
That oily ass lens.
Bro, like when I see people like they'll do their videos, they're like, yeah, and it's like everything like
you can see the reflections.
Yeah, you can see and the lights go like this. You know what I mean? It's just like they're spread out like this. And you're like, oh my God, you didn't even clean your lens. And clean your backgrounds too. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like when people like do these talking head videos.
Oh,
and then they got laundry and
they
shit
got
in the
shit all over the
background.
place.
Yeah,
I agree.
like be mindful of the background.
I'm like super mindful.
Yeah, even like when I see cooking videos, I'm like, man, y'all got like dishes piled up in the sink. Like, you don't take the time. Like, that's all part of the pre-process. Like, clean that shit up.
But you know what though? But that's also like a piece of. So I have so like one of our clients, she has a big YouTube following, and she jokes about how like, you know, she got really big because she live streamed while she was doing hair for a long time, and she, you know, she jokes, but she's also serious that like people love the messy shit. Like she's like, you know, people make fun of me because I be out here, my hair's fucked up, you know, my elbows and ankles are ashy, and she, you know, but I'm like, but when people leave my chair, they look amazing, but like I'm over here looking busted,
Right.
and I'm like, you know, she's like, people love that weird stuff, you know, and it's like, there's a balance. There's a balance.
Well, there is a balance,
Yeah.
but this is something I think I was talking to Brittany about. People like to hate watch.
Correct. People love to watch and be like,
yeah,
look at this dirty motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's not
because they're actually like rooting for you.
They're like, yeah, go girl.
It
like,
makes them feel better about themselves.
People want you to do good, but not better than them.
Correct. Yeah. Well, that's like the video I sent. I think I either put it up or I sent it, and it was just like, what is it? Floyd Mayweather. He's like, whether you do something good, they're gonna talk. You do something bad, they're gonna talk. And what's funny is I actually had to use that line on my daughter last night because she was like, Dad, people, you know, if I answer a question right, I'm a know-it-all. But if I get it wrong, all of a sudden I'm dumb. And I'm like, fuck them.
Yeah.
People gonna like fuck them buster ass kids.
They are gonna hate you no matter what.
That's what I mean. I'm like, yo, do you, bro? I told her, I said the 1%ers were hated by everybody.
Oh yeah. I think that hinders a lot of creators from even pressing record.
It hindered me for a little while. I mean, like just because like, you know, judgment sucks. Now it's not even judgment. It's just like now it's like I just gotta I gotta find the time. Honestly, if I was to say there's anything that prevents me from doing it, it's guilt. And what I mean by that is, like, for those of you that don't know, like, I am happily married. I have 5 kids in my house, 2 dogs, you know.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
A partridge in a pear. I still serve in the Air Force, like, while my wife serves, while, you know, we got a lot going on, multiple business owner. And so, like, you know, I'll be honest, at the end of the day, like, I just want to hang out with my girl.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and it's funny because she's chill. I'll pull out my laptop while we're watching movies, and I could edit, and she won't even trip. And it's like, but it's like me that's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'm like fucking tired.
I think that hinders me from being like starting a relationship with someone. Right.
I mean, that's real talk.
Because as I'm building, like, I don't want my partner or whoever I'm with to be like, oh my God, he's spending so much time doing this. Because like Cam, you know, like every time you call me, I'm saying what?
I'm editing.
Exactly. Like my face is always in the computer. I'm always learning. Even if I know a lot of shit, and I'm not going to claim that I know everything, I'm constantly learning how to be better. You know what I mean? Even at this stage. And I think all the greats do that. They want to be better. Michael Jordan's great example. You know what I mean? He was in the gym shooting 100 jump shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kobe Bryant, 100 jump shots.
R.I.P.
You know what I mean? Even at R.I.P. Exactly. Even as good as they were, they kept on working. Emmitt Smith, after he won one of the Super Bowls, right? Mm-hmm. He was in the gym, and someone asked him, you know, why are you working out? He's, I'm preparing for my next one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, winning isn't just good enough. Like, we want to be great at what we do.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, right?
That's it.
That's it.
That's how we're gonna. That was a perfect kill switch for y'all. Post and destroy. That was perfect.
Post and destroy.
Post and destroy. But that being said, do the outro again. Let's do it.
I mean, do you have anything you wanted to say before I do the outro?
Hey, like, share, subscribe. But Percy's gonna hit you with that OT.
That, you know what I'm saying?
The OT.
Because your boy, you know, I'm a little seasoned. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time and watching this video. You guys could be anywhere in this world, but today you decided to be right here with us. And for that, we thank you.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that you like, you subscribe and click the bell so you know every time we drop a brand new video. And in the meantime, in between time, holla at ya boys. Peace.
Digital rich, digital rich.